Well, hello. I'm Bruce Wilson, the old dude at the old dude ranch, doing a little bit of horse training. And this is the last video in this series of working with Blue. Just a reminder, Blue was a very reactive horse. Really wild, was a bucking horse. It seems like he really likes to buck, kick at you. Very reactive, and trying to work with him to get him calmed down as quick as we can. So kind of walk you through what we've been doing at the end here. So we've been preparing Blue to ride. We've been going up in the saddle, laying over the cross, getting on him, getting off of him. And now we're starting to ride him. Here I like how he's a little bit sticky. I got to kind of kick him to get him to go. I like that in him right now. Um, he's not trying to be reactive. He's trying to listen to me. Um, I'm flexing him to the left there, kind of a one rein stop. So all I want him to do is walk one rein stop left uh, or right, whatever. So I kind of use that, kind of just keep him going just gently here. We don't want him to go too fast because he is very reactive. I like to walk him to the left. I like to walk him to the right. You know, when I first do this, there's always one direction he likes more than the other. Right now, he likes left better than right. So here I flex him on the left, bring him to a stop with a one lane stop, flex him to the left, get him used to me moving his head, moving him around. Um, I'll do that to the right. I'll just keep getting on him, getting off of him, trying to get him comfortable with me getting on and off. See how he's walking out on me right there? I made a mistake here where I haven't caught that quick enough. I should have caught him walking out and stopped that, and I'll pay that price here at the end, and you'll see that. But if he does that, I should get off and yield his hind end. See how I get on, and I have that rope in my hand, so the first thing I can do is pull that, flex that head if he starts doing something stupid and silly. Um, you always want that rope in your hand, so if he does something silly, you can flex and bend that head quickly. That's what I'm doing now. I'm keeping control of him. Don't want him to walk out. Keep that head flexed. Stops. I relax him. Now he's going to go again, so I'm going to flex him again. I don't want him to walk out until I'm ready. He's getting in the habit of wanting to walk out when I get on and off, and he wasn't doing that earlier, so you have to be very careful with that. So as he walks, I'll let him walk, and I'll bring him to a stop. Flex him out. He's getting more antsy every day I get on him. I've been riding him a few days now, and he's getting more antsy every time I get on him. Which should have been a clue, but sometimes you just start feeling more confident in yourself than you should. But he is coming along. When I first got on him, he didn't want to move at all, which was a very good sign. So I could get on and get off, get on and get off. But now he's getting where he wants to walk more. He's getting used to me getting on, and he's wanting to move. So I'll flex him to the left, flex him to the right. Tell him we don't always have to walk when I get on you. Very important that you do that every day. And if they start taking off when they're young on you, you'll have problems. And we might show you that example coming up today. So he's not wanting to really walk out, which I like, so I got to kick him a little bit to give him a little bit of energy, which is really good for a very reactive horse. But he's stepping out good. He's minding my commands. I can turn him left. I can turn him right. See, I pull it on the right. He doesn't like to turn right as well, but we'll work on that. So since he's liking left the most at the beginning, it's kind of a free way to start. I'll let him go left the most. Just take it easy. Don't do anything silly. I have to spank him a little bit there. Keep him moving. I just want him used to moving his feet with me under saddle. Now I'm trying to pull him to the right a little bit. He doesn't like to go to the right. He's a little bit sticky to the right. See that? But he will go. So we just want to kind of do left, right, nothing big. We're staying in a controlled pen. Pulling him back to the left here. Have to kick him a little bit to keep him going. I like that right now. I wish he would have stayed that way, but he didn't, and we'll see that. But what you really want to do is make sure you have control. Make sure you're up on the reins where if he does something silly, you can pull on him. Make sure he's really prepared before you start riding him. And we're just going to kind of do some little figure eights, keep him moving. I want to keep his brain moving. I don't want him thinking too much. I just want him moving. Make a little bit bigger circle this time. Turn him back the other way. Not bad for only a couple days on saddle on this horse since he's so reactive and he loves to buck. At this point, I was feeling pretty good with him because, in the short time we've worked with him and as far as this horse has come, I thought he was doing really good. Now we're just going to stop and flex him to the left, flex him to the right. It's so important to keep flexing him at a stop. That way he doesn't think just because we're on him we got to walk. It's really important to read your horse. Feel the tension under him. You remember the other day when I got on him, and I got on him very long. I had to get off, and he started kicking and was ready to kick the bucket. It's so important to try to read your horse and not get in a big hurry. And what this shows me, this horse is trainable. He is rideable. He's going to be reactive, so we're going to have some issues, but it's just going to take a lot of work. And he's one you're going to have to go slow with. He's not one I can take out and start doing, let him run free, just let him go, and then circle, ride him down the fence lines. He's one you're just going to have to get used to him letting you get on and off. I'm rubbing him here, just letting him know he's okay, letting him get used to me sitting on top of him. Every change is very reactive to him. Everything. If you remember this horse, you couldn't touch a hair on his back anywhere. Every hair was different. So as I said him, I'm going back to flexing. All starts with the groundwork. Been able to control that head. Today he's looking pretty good. Today I was more in form, in tune. I remember to keep a tight rein. Remember to loosen it when I need to. Remember to flex left, flex right, stop him, not always go. Everything isn't go. I just got to get him mixing it up a little bit. Turning him left and right. Riding him out. You take a horse that's this wild and see, be able to ride him, see that, there is hope for a horse that you would never thought there's hope for. It's so rewarding. And I do something stupid with him, and you'll see in a bit. But if you take the time and read the horse and keep working him and don't push him faster than he's meant to go, it's just you just got to love him. I mean, he's doing so well, and he has great capabilities. A nice, big, strong horse. Uh, but this is what gets exciting: is when you can start getting a horse to come around that you couldn't even get in the pen with, you couldn't even get a halter on him, and get where you can start to ride him. And that's really what I was wanting to get to for this owner, so that unfortunately we didn't get there, but if you have time, I would still like to take this horse or a horse like it and just keep working on it. I'm just getting on, getting off, making him comfortable with me. I'm going to give him a reward here. He's acting really good today, and that's just awesome. He's showing great potential. He's still far, far, far from where he needs to be, but you know, to take a horse this wild and this sensitive and be able to bond with him and spend time with him and be able to pick up his feet, move him left and right, and get on and off of him. Um, the other problem you have with a horse like this is you have to read him because he is not trained, he is not broke, he's still not safe to ride, but he's at a starting point where you can start working with him. I just love horses, and you just got to love horses to be able to take this much time with a horse like this. If you don't, these horses won't survive. There's just not a lot of people want to spend the time. So you see, I love on him, I hug on him. You know, I would really want to bond with horses when I work with them, and that's the key to me. I like here, even when I call him for a treat, he's getting where he wants to come in, and he'll mind me, and he'll be with me. Um, but you have to work with him to get him to this point. And this horse coming back every day, he's sensitive, he's moody, and so don't get lulled to sleep. Don't do silly things because the horse starts acting good doesn't mean he's always going to stay that way. Here you see he's still coming back again. After a while I'm coming back in to ride him again. I've been riding this horse probably a week now on and on, pretty much every night, getting on and off of him. Um, my problem is I started getting too confident with him. Don't get too confident because when you get too confident, you take shortcuts. Right here, you see I'm getting on. I don't have the rein, and that's going to cost me. I should have had that rein better in my hand where I could pull on that. And I should be tucking his head towards me when I'm getting on. Why? If he's doing something silly, then I can correct that. But here I've been working with horses all my life. You start to get too confident. You get over confident. You get confident in yourself. You get confident and comfortable with the horse. And that's when I end up getting in trouble and you end up getting in trouble. So here I'm just riding him. I want to bring him to a stop, and I'm going to ask him to go. I need that stop button. This horse has plenty of go. I need to know he needs to know when to stop and how to stop. But right now he's doing really well. Every day I've come out here, he's getting better. He's turning to the left better. He's turning to the right better. The more I just ride him walking around, the more comfortable he's getting with me. See, I can turn him better to the right. He's not fighting me as much as he was. So he's getting his flex left and right. There he's stopping and watching. You got to be careful when they do that. You see his head go up. He's looking out at something else. But over in the short period of time, I'm pretty pleased with how far he came. But he's walking out good. He's minding me. He's stopping. He's starting. He's turning left and right. I just want him getting comfortable. It's just staying with me, being, going slow. His horse will start bucking. He will be reactive if you push him too fast. He's proven that reactivity all the way through all the training. There's nothing better I like than hunting on horseback, going off into the wilderness, packing in, putting pack saddles on, getting away from everybody. I'm not really a people person, if you guys haven't noticed. Uh, People say I just look angry all the time. Well, it's not I'm angry. I have an angry look. I have a resting angry look, but uh, I don't try to intimidate people. I just try to relax. But I really like working alone. But I don't mind people coming one on one. But boy, if you get me in a group of people, I'd just soon move out and go fishing, go hunting, put me on a horseback. If I had a dream, I'd live up in Alaska all by myself, but that doesn't raise a very good family life, and my grandkids mean everything to me, so being around my wife and grandkids and my kids is just awesome. But in the city here is too tight. Everybody's building around me. I need to move out farther. See, I'm flexing left, flexing right. That's my brake. That's not only my steering, but that's my brake. If I can keep him where I can flex his head left and right, that's what I want him to do. I want to be able to start, stop, turn left, turn right, and one rein stop left and one rein stop right. But here we go, just relaxing. Wish you could hear my tunes. I got my tunes cranking, but I can't think you can hear them really today, but they're going on. I like tunes when I'm doing things. Just like to relax, get my mind off of work, ride the critters. And right now, be honest, I'm just pleased and pretty tickled with him. I would have thought at this point this horse wouldn't have been as reactive as he will get on me, but because he's really tuned in and dialed in. But you have a horse that's this reactive, you have to expect the unexpected. And especially when I know he's been reactive. But as calm as he's been this first week of really riding him, I was pretty pleased. I probably got on him a little bit early because I knew I had to give him back and I had to move on to some other horses and other things. But the key to getting them to calm down, really, to me, is your fundamental groundwork. And I did a ton of groundwork. You saw that in all the prior videos. But I probably should have kept the backpack on him longer. I probably should have just been getting on and off him and not trying to ride him as much as I did to get him even more used to that. If I did that, I think I would have had better success with him. But even if you get a horse that you have an issue with, doesn't mean you can't stop, go back, watch these videos, go back to the saddle, go back to putting saddle packs on him, putting more weight on him, putting more flags on him. I mean, he's a young horse. He's only got time, so the more I can go back and put that on him, and let him have a heart attack when all that stuff's on his back, not when you're on his back, because this is when you're going to get hurt and this is when you're going to get injured. So if I was going to restart this horse, that's exactly what I go back to, is the groundwork, saddlebags, pack saddles, my flags, chopping bags, just give him a heart attack. Heart attacks are free, so give your horse one today. But when you give it to him, make sure you're in a safe area. But, you know, for where this horse is at and where he's at today, I mean, he's come a long way. Um, Nowhere where he's safe yet, nowhere, you know, where you could use him. I mean, once you start trotting, that's going to be a different thing. Once you start loping, that's going to be a different thing. Once you start galloping, he's going to go through all those changes and he's going to want to buck at each one of those. So it's so important to get your confidence slowly going up with him. You know, you're asking yourself, why are you showing me all this video of just doing something silly and riding? Because I'm trying to show you how much time you can put into a horse for how many days and still have him do something silly. Because he's going to do something silly, and it's at my mistake. Because here you see I'm still flexing him. I'm still going slow. I'm still trying to keep him going at my pace and feel comfortable with me on his back. If you do it, flex to the left, flex to the right, you still see him still a little bit stiff to the right, but we'll work on that. But I make a big mistake at the end of this horse trying to push him too fast. And I don't blame it on him. I blame it on me. Reason why is I start getting cocky. I start getting assured of myself, you know. And when you have self-confidence and you realize, you know, you think you can read him, that's when you let your guard down and you do something silly. But you can see he's calm. He's walking out. He's really doing really well. It's just me that becomes a knothead, so I don't blame it on him. So I just one rein to the stop. You notice I use one rein to stop. I don't use two. And I'm going to give him some treats and tell him thanks again. Okay, I'm coming back out here and riding him again. There you see I made a mistake. I didn't have the rein tight, and you notice how he started walking out fast? I had to pull him here to a stop, and I let him start walking out too much. Don't let your horse start taking off until you're ready. That's a bad mistake on my part, and it's a mistake many of us make. We get in the habit, every time we get on, we jump on a horse, the horse says ride, he goes. Teach your horse to stay there till you ask him to go. I was kind of had too much confidence in myself and say, oh, Bruce, I don't need to go back and correct that. Well, I'll pay the price for that, and you will too. Make sure when you mount your horse, he knows he cannot take off until you tell him. So how I do that? Well, I'm trying to get rides in, and I shouldn't be trying to get rides in. I should be getting on, getting off, getting on, flex him left and right, get off, get on, flex him left and right, get off. Because I know I'm running out of time with him, I'm trying to get more saddle time, and he's not there yet. So my saddle time should be getting on him, flex him left, flex him right, get off. Get on him, flex him left, flex him right, get off. The more that I do that, the more that he won't be expecting to take off like he did that time every time I get on him. But you know, my mind is he's been pretty good. I've been on him a week. He hasn't really been silly. So I've really been going slow with him, but he needed to be gone slower with, be honest. But I'm still working. Notice how he's turning much better to the right than he did. It's turning good to the left. Yeah. So remember, when you get on a horse, have his nose tipped towards your stirrup, have the rein up in your hand, so if he does something silly, you can pull on that rein quick and you can either get on and get off and get control of him. Don't let him start walking out ahead of you. Don't get in a big hurry like I do right here. because you'll pay the price. You know, right now I'm pretty confident in, and I should have saw things coming, but I didn't. Because why? Just because a horse is good 95% of the time doesn't mean he's going to be good all the time. Read your horse. If he's in the mood to step out on you, he's also in the mood to do silly things, and you're going to have a train wreck. Other than my mistakes, he's doing really well. My fear is my mistakes will stop other people from wanting to put the time in with him, because he's not a bad horse. He just needs more time. He needs more work. He needs to go slower than some horses. You know, I put a lot more time in this horse than I have a lot of other horses. But hey, if they need it, put it in. See, I ride. You see, I run one rein stop, and then we flex left, and then we flex right. I should be doing that flexing the minute I get on and keep him stopped. Don't make the habit of getting on, just taking off, letting him walk, and thinking I'll do it later, because you won't always have the time to do that. You'll put yourself in a bad position. But the other thing that's positive about this video and me riding him is shows you he can get into the mindset and the temperament to stay calm and be ridden and be a nice, gentle horse. He has that potential, and that's a plus. See, I keep flexing him. I keep stopping him. I keep flexing him left. I flex him right. I want him to know I'm in control. He's not in control. He's getting better and better every day I do this with him. Every day I ride with him. Now he's getting a little bit hot. You see that starting to kick on me. So what do? I bend him. I bend him. That should be a key right there when I see him starting to get hot after I've ridden him as much as I do. To not, anytime you see him start getting like that, start kicking out on you, start taking off on you, back up. You've pushed him too far for a minute. That means he's going a little ahead of you. And I know sometimes they do that and they'll quit and they'll never do it again. But you've got to be able to understand your horse. Where did he come from? What's his background? How reactive? How hyper hot is he? I mean, for the most part, when you read him, you look like, oh, I could ride him all day. He's in good position. His head's down. His ears aren't pinned. He's stopping for me. He's bending for me. Um, but that's not always the case. Typically, if they've been reactive at the beginning, they're going to be reactive to the very end and even in a couple of years into riding. You just have to be careful with them. The other thing I'd recommend is wear a helmet on a horse like this. Wear protective gear. Don't let your machismo, macho man, or womanhood overdo your ego. Protect yourself. Uh, if you look, the horses, he looks gentle, he looks calm, he's laid out, he's got a good step, and he just needs a lot of time in the saddle. I would never turn him out in a pasture and start riding him. You know, start doing things with him I'd do with other horses. I wouldn't do any cruising exercises. That's where he's going to go nuts. You just got to go slow before you do your cruising exercises. I want to get where I can go to some different speeds in a controlled pen before we take him out in an open pasture or an open arena. I want him comfortable with me getting on him every day and giving, and even going to a trot here. It's not big enough to gallop, but I would go into a trot. I would see what he's going to do in this environment. But just take the time with him. I just feel bad I didn't have the time to keep working with this horse, uh, because I think he could really be a decent horse. He's just going to have somebody that just puts the time in with him and he gets comfortable with you. It's crazy. Every horse is different. And I've got some other videos coming up of a little red. I'll start breaking another horse after this. I don't know when I'll get the videos up, but it'll give you an idea between one horse and another, what their habits are, how fast you can take them, how fast you can move them. If this horse would stay like this, he would be a really, really decent horse. He's got the potential, but you just got to keep working on that reactivity with him. The only way to do that, proper groundwork, proper flexing, proper when rein stops, and don't push him faster than he's ready to go. Be honest, on under saddle, I haven't had any problem with him for, a week. He behaved, he didn't buck, he didn't do anything, and that's where I make a mistake. The nice thing about is when I made a mistake on him is that, now and then they'll act up, but every time they'll do it less and less and less. It's just how you handle it, how you correct it. It's not a matter of when you get hurt with a horse. It's when and how bad. It's not if it's going to happen. And a lot of that you can prevent. I could have prevented, but it just becomes too easy to let your guard down. It comes too easy to not pay attention and watch for the signs, because I feel like, oh, I can do this, and I can do it. It's just that don't be stupid, don't be silly. Watch for the signs and don't take shortcuts. There's a lesson to learn in all these videos. You'll see it in this video, and it's do not take shortcuts. When you get on, flex him left and right. Do not let him step out. When you get on, make sure you're choked up on the rein so you can flex him instantly if he starts doing something silly. Because if you don't, on a reactive horse, you'll pay the price like I do. And that's not what you want to do. Because you see how well behaved he's being. You see how in control he's being. And you know what he's doing? He's lulling me to sleep. He's lulling you to sleep. And you're thinking, oh, we got this. We can keep going. I put a lot of time in on this horse, hours and hours riding him just like this. And that's when you start thinking, oh, I got this, and he's ready to move on. And you forget these reactive horses, you should be paying attention every step of the way until you have gone all the way through the gallop and even got the gallop down. After that, that's when they start mellowing out. But until you get to that point, they still get tired. They still want to be reactive back. But right now, he's doing everything I'd want. I couldn't ask him to do anything better. So I get off, I thank him, I get on, I get off. I'll give him a reward and a treat. I love how he's following me. He's really connected with me today. He's really bonded with me today. And that's what I'm looking for. I was ready to give this horse back right now, but um, we hadn't made the connection yet, so I keep coming out and riding it and riding it and riding it. So I was really trying to push because I didn't know what day the owner was coming. So I just kept coming and coming and coming to get on and get off and get on and get off and put the saddle time in. There, I let him walk out again on me. Bad habit to get into. I should have been flexing left and right. I don't get in the habit of letting him step out. I've been on him so much now, he's just used to the minute I get on, let's go. And that's a bad habit. I'm thinking saddle time, and I should have been thinking stay in my training session, stay in the training, stay in my order of steps. But he's walking smooth, he's turning smooth, he's got a lot of hours under saddle now. I'm really feeling good about how far he came and what his potential could be. I've got horses across the fence out running, out doing things. He's not being bothered by them. He's not being bothered by the goat. That's a good plus sign. Still turning well. I can take him where I want him to go. You see he's reacting to the pressure of the rein. If I pull it to the left, pull it to the right. I got quite a few hours under saddle on him, but he needs just a ton of saddle time. Like how his head's down, his ears are down. Those are all signs you want to watch for, to see what moods he's in. On a reactive horse, don't push him if they're not relaxed. I would bet right now and he would say, well, I'd get on him and walk around. That is a false security, and that's when that's when we get into. I'm starting to relax too much because he's been really good under saddle. He's feeling really good under saddle. But he's well from broke, even with that reactiveness he's got. He wants to be reactive. He wants to get hot. He wants to get hyper. And those are things that I'm trying to get out of him, trying to work. And the only way you're going to do that is more saddle time, more groundwork, more handling. Here comes my neighborhood cats. I just had to give away some kitties. We had 4 kittens off of one of these cats that wasn't ours, and we gave 3 of them away. We got 1 left to go, so I'm really pleased. But you want some cats, I surely would give them to you. You gotta feel good at what you see in this horse and that he does have potential. Uh, he's just needs time and he needs to go at his pace. And the only way I know to get a horse after so far is wet saddles and saddle time, and only go at the pace they'll let you go at. Watch when he starts getting hot. Get out of the saddle when he gets hot. Don't push him too hard. Go at his pace. But right now he's doing really, really well. This big, strong, beautiful horse. Boy, he could work all day if you wanted. But I just really like what he's doing. So I keep riding and getting on and off, letting him bond with me. Just fantastic. Starting to get sticky a little bit there. To me, if I'd have really thought about it, this would have been a good place to stop. But that's what happens sometimes is you want to overwork a horse, you want to overpush a horse. See how he's starting to get a little more jumpy when I put my stirrup on. I'm thinking, oh, it's no big deal, but it is. When you let a horse start picking up bad habits, when you've been training them, it starts letting them get a little more carried away, a little more reactive, and you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for injury. So don't make the mistakes I do. I could have stopped this video and not said a word and showed you, hey, we broke the horse, we rode him. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you guys understand the issues you're going to run into and the mistakes you're going to make. Because I've made many and I'll still make many. I have to kick him a little bit right here to get him to go. He's really not being reactive. He's really listening to me. He's taking my cues. But I've rode him hard every night for a week and just going slow, so I felt like I was doing, pretty good with him. But that's when you get in trouble, because then you let your guard down. But I can do full circles, I can do figure eights, I can go either direction. If you're not bored yet, you should be, because I'm really trying to show you how much time, and I'm not even showing you all the time, that I put in riding this horse before I make a silly mistake. And you're going to do the same. You're going to say, boy, I've ridden him for weeks and there shouldn't have been an issue. Well, that's your horsemanship, reading your horse, and even I make mistakes. We'll all make mistakes, but that's what we got to learn from. Would I let anybody else ride this horse after I've ridden him like this? No, I wouldn't, because I know this horse is too reactive. I know he can react up. Um, some horses I could get to this stage and I have no problem letting somebody just ride him around the arena like I did. Other horses, I wouldn't do it. If they've been reactive in training, you always have that potential at any time until you put hundreds of hours and miles on. So since I'm not going to have time to do it, I'd go from here. I'd go to the cruising lesson. Then I'd do the fence line. I'd cruise the fence lines and push them in the corners. Then I'd start doing circles. I'd run in circles left, do circled right, figure eights. Then I'd start doing rollbacks on the fence lines. Then I go from rollbacks onto the fence lines to circle eight with rollbacks. Then we'd start teaching him how to side paths down a fence line left and right. I mean, there's all the next steps to go in the riding lessons. His groundwork, he's pretty solid on, but there's so much to go through under the riding courses. This video has really been about starting a wild horse and getting where you can just start riding him like this, and this is about all I thought I could get to in the 3 to 4 months that I had him. Just unfortunately, when I gave him back, I wasn't in a position to keep him this way, because we all do make mistakes. But I would take him back in a heartbeat, work him, and start getting him back to this position. It wouldn't take a lot to get him here. You just have to be careful and don't make silly mistakes and read the horse. Nice, smooth, easy going. Okay, I was about ready to end here. In fact, I really was going to get off him and I was done for the day. And I should have, this is as much as I should have pushed him. I knew I was done for the day. That's about the time I wanted to put on him. And, but unfortunately, when I got off of him, or fortunately, my son came, a lot of people came over. I still had him tacked up, and I was like, oh, let me show you how far I got with Blue. I've been riding him, I've been doing well. Well, all those people came, and all that excitement came. It got him all excited. So I thought I was done right here for the day. And so I was going to put him up. And they came, so I says, oh, I'm going to come back out for one last ride. But see what happens? I did not have the bridle in my hand. I do not have him under control. And in not doing that, I'm starting to tell him he can walk out without me. And every time he was getting worse and worse when I got on. And you saw how he started taking off when I got on him this time. And if you have the time, you put on him, don't override him. You can override a horse that is new, that hasn't been ridden much until they're out of patience with you. And I kind of did that with this horse. I also did it with too much excitement going around. I had ridden him a long time. My family's there. I'm trying to show him out here I can ride. I'm trying to show him what's going on and how far he came. Uh, don't let all that other agenda like that take over your planned agenda. And don't start taking shortcuts. I really should be getting off of him and on him, and just on and off, on and off. Don't let him walk out and flex him. Make him think that every time I get on, we're going to flex. We're not going to walk. It's a bad habit to get into, because every time I've jumped on him lately, I've been thinking about going in the saddle, and I should have been thinking flex, 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 stop, stop, stop. Oh well, too late now. But I do pay the price, and unfortunately, the owner pays the price, because I left him in a bad way. Yeah, if you don't want to be able to ride for hours, if you don't want to put the time in, um, have somebody else do it for you. You know, horses need the time. Horses need the attention. Very few horses that can be broke by just riding now and then or once a year. I've had horses that'll do that. I've had horses I only get on in hunting season, and they were really good. Basie was fantastic about that, but most horses won't let you do that. Horse owners, be responsible horse owners. Put the time in your horse, unless you're just going to keep them for a pasture pet. And if you want to do that, I don't have a problem with that. But if you want a riding horse and you want a safe horse, put the time in him. Oh yeah, I just see so much potential in a horse like this. You know, it's this big, this strong. You know, he's almost 17 hands. You can see he's got plenty of 1,800 pounds at least weight. He's a heavy, big horse. Strong horse, stronger than I am. It'd make a really good pleasure riding horse. You could pack and ride all day on. How many hours does it take to ride at each step on a horse? How many days do you need him? You know, there's not an answer for that. It's not one horse I could do it in a week, and one horse it could be a day, another horse it may be a month. Every horse is different at every step. It's more going and reading the horse when he's ready. Boy, nice, smooth, kick, slow pace. I just like that. I just feel so bad I'd be stupid here in a bit at the horse's issue, not mine. Or excuse me, my issue, not the horse's issue. I said that backwards. Okay, here I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I leave the horse. I start thinking, okay, let's put him up. And this is a huge mistake. Couple of reasons. The horse now, you see, I feed him, I reward him, I let him kind of go on his own because I'm talking to the people. I'm like, okay, he's been pretty good. You know, I'm thinking about taking the saddle off right here, which I should have done. But I'm like, I can push him one more time. I can show him. I'll just hop on real quick. But you see, I'm out talking to the people and telling them how good he's coming. And I'm like, okay, let's just show him one more ride. Well, that was my downfall because I come out in a hurry. Horse is sitting here getting all excited with all the people. You see his ears go forward. You see he's really starting to get worked up with all the excitement because he's not used to people being around him. He's not used to people there. See how his hairs are going up? He's like, what's going on over there? There's trucks pulling in, there's cars, and I think he's still in the same temperament mood he is when I left him. And oh no, he's sitting here getting worked up. He's getting excited. He's getting second wind because there's a lot of excitement going on. He's walking off, paying attention to what we're doing over there. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, I've been on him for a couple hours today. he's going to be in that same mood. No, that's not what happens when there's a lot of people that come around and start getting him all hyper. And here I come out here thinking, and that should have been my first cue right there. See how he walked away from me? When I called him, he didn't come to me. He's starting to be reactive right here. He's not paying attention to me. His ears are twitching. He's not even, see, I'm having to pull on him. He's not in the same page as I am. That should have been my first cue right there. See where I'm pulling on him? I'm trying to force him, and he's not in a forcible mood. Look at his ears. You notice I go to get on, I do not have the reins. I'm not in the saddle. He's not sat. He's moving on me. And this is a big mistake. Watch closely, because I do not have the reins. I just think he's in the same mood. He's taken off because I haven't stalked him. He goes right into bucking. And right there I break my finger and my hand comes off and I come down. That was a horrible fall. That was majorly my mistake. I don't blame that on him, but unfortunately I'm really hurt right here. And this is the last time I got on this horse, because after that I had some major issues. So let's look at that again. Turn away if you don't want. My first issue is I had to drag him over here. His ears are pinned back. He's hot. I'm not paying attention. I think he's in the same mood he was when I left, but he's in a big mood because all the cars pull in, all the people. So he's taken off. I'm not even in the saddle. I don't even get over the back of the, and he's coming up. I don't have the bridles in my hands like I should. So all I can do right now is hold on for the 8 seconds that he's used to bucking. And I cannot get a hold. I'm trying to get a hold of the reins, and I cannot get the reins. And I put myself in a horrible position. My right finger, middle finger, broke right there, and it came off when that finger broke. I landed on my forehead, a horrible position. I ended up with 2 broken wrists, 2 broken ribs, and then they found a break in my neck that could have been from this or not. I had a horrible gash in my head that took stitches, and I really don't blame that on him. You see how his ears are still pinned. He's still hot. He's saying, "You dummy," and he's right. This is my fault. That's what happens when you get in a hurry and you get too relaxed. I feel really bad. You can see the huge gash in my head. I'm out of it right here. My glasses went through my nose, my forehead cracked open. I don't know what zone I'm in right here. My head, I almost go down here. I'm hurting so bad with my head. But that's how important it is to not be stupid. And that was my fault. Why am I showing you this? We make mistakes. I don't want you to make mistakes. I should have quit. I should have read him better, and I let him start walking away with me. Don't get overconfident. I feel bad because I feel this was my fault because I let him get hot and I wasn't reading him. He didn't come to me. I had to drag him. We were out of connection. Read your horse. It'll be much safer if you do. This horse, yes, I'd absolutely ride him again. But I would go back to the fundamentals of the groundwork, and I'd come right through again, and I would make sure he doesn't start walking off on me, and I'd make sure I don't cut corners and get overconfident. I really have to thank my son here. He's not a big horseman, but he came out and took care of the horse because I was in no shape. They wanted to life flight me into Salt Lake. They ended up driving me into Salt Lake by ambulance from the hospital out in Tooele, but I was okay. But I appreciate my son coming out, taking care of the horse. Always take care of the horse first. We made sure that happened before I even left to the hospital. Taking care of animals is just critical, no matter what shape you're in. Well, I'm sorry this didn't turn out better, but I hope you learned something. And I'll tell you, this horse is a lovely horse. You just need to keep working a horse like this safe. And hopefully we'll have some better outcomes on Little Red videos. And so take care and enjoy your horses.